I did want to address something let's address the elephant in the record label room. So the other day, Spiritbox was like set to release a song that like the band didn't even know was being released ahead of the album drop. So they put out the 4 singles, and apparently there was a 5th song that was like about to drop, or and Courtney found out about it the night before it was supposed to come out, and so she made a public post about it on Twitter, which like I find very commendable, because you're like, publicly telling the fans that like, hey, someone on our team approved this without talking to us first, and it's fucked up. I'll share the tweet here. It pretty crazy situation. For people that don't know, when you're in a band, if you're independent, you kind of control your own release schedule, things like that. You have to upload your stuff to distribution like 2 weeks at minimum before you want it to come out, in order to get it on, so you can pitch it for playlisting on Spotify and things like that. If you're trying to get it on Billboard, there's a whole other process for that. All these like radio play, there's all these like tiers that you have to hit, and like criteria you have to meet in order to do this stuff. So it's pretty crazy. But that being said, Courtney, I find it very respectable, and like some would say like not professional, but like it's not about being a professional. It's about like, you want to maintain creative control even when you sign to a label, and sometimes labels try to overstep you, and that's pretty fucked up. Especially if you have like a rollout plan for your record, which they obviously did with Tsunami Sea. So it looks like before the song was taken down, which was Crystal Roses, it got like 164,000 streams. Well, that's where it's at now, so I'm not sure what the stream count was when it got released before it got taken down, but the fact that Courtney spoke publicly on it means a lot to me as an independent artist. I've dealt with similar issues. I've dealt with release delays due to distribution, not getting stuff approved. I actually have a song with Ronnie from the Red Jumpsuit Apparatus on my album Mission to Mars, which by the way is, we have physical CDs. There was a 500 minimum, so please go buy a CD so that I can afford to get more merch for you guys. We did finally sell out of all of our tour merch, which is so sick. So thank you guys for supporting Chasing Satellites. You can get stuff, website link is in the description. But anyway, so I have a song with Ronnie from the Red Jumpsuit Apparatus. It's actually the opening track on that. You can see it right there. Touch the Sky featuring Ronnie Winter from the Red Jumpsuit Apparatus. Kellen Quinn is also featured on this album. Fun fact. But Ronnie actually let me credit the Red Jumpsuit Apparatus as the featured artist. So, and as a primary artist, not just Ronnie Winter, because I talked to him about it too. He was like, well, yeah, like what's the point in doing a feature if like you can't, credit the band? Like everybody knows the band name. They might not know like Ronnie Winter, which like is crazy to me as a concept. But anyway, because we had Red Jumpsuit as the primary artist on Spotify, it splits and both of your audiences get sent that. It's actually sick. It's like a collab post on Instagram. I feel like TikTok and YouTube should get on board with that, because imagine like 2 of your favorite YouTube creators came together and did a collaboration and both of their subscriber lists get sent this video. It just makes sense to me, but we're not there yet. They're a little behind, but they'll catch up, I think. Anyway, that being said, when I went to release my album, I have a knack for releasing things on Friday the 13th. I just love Friday the 13th. I'm all about it. I get the tattoos. I do the whole damn thing. But because Red Jumpsuit was a primary artist, my distro got back to me and they were like, hey, Spotify is flagging this because, their words, Red Jumpsuit is so famous that they have to physically sign a document signing off saying that they approve being a primary artist, because anybody could tag any band as a primary artist. So they had to get it approved. Ronnie literally had to sign a document that said like, hey, I approve this. And then my release was scheduled for the Friday the 13th of last October, or the October previous, and it got delayed by 13 days. 13 days. When you have a release scheduled and you're doing all the rollouts for it leading up to it, and it gets delayed by 2 weeks, that is significant as an independent artist. So I understand where Courtney's coming from. Obviously a totally different situation. I'm not on a label. I don't have somebody that can like push things through on the label side. I'm doing everything myself. So as an independent artist, We struggle with this shit all the time. And it makes me so fucking mad to see a band that is as dope and talented and just down to earth as Spiritbox have to deal with the same bullshit when they're signed to a fucking label. And I know this is probably going to make all the labels mad, and I may never get signed to a label because I'm talking about this publicly, but I don't give a fuck because this is fucked up. And they should fix this problem and talk to the bands that they are supposed to be working for. It's insane to me.